Ja Morant's ready to reclaim his spot in the NBA spotlight, and I couldn't be more excited. After a challenging season, it feels like the Memphis Grizzlies are gearing up to show everyone that they're still a force to be reckoned with. With Ja, Jaren Jackson Jr., Desmond Bane, and new addition Zach Edey, this team has the ingredients to be something special. First up, let's talk about Ja Morant. He's an incredible player who's just starting to touch the surface of his prime. Remember when he was lighting up the court and taking the Grizzlies on thrilling rides? That fire's still in him. Despite his recent suspensions, Ja's motivation to come back stronger than ever is palpable. He's got that rare talent to carry a team, and he knows it. This season, expect him to channel all that energy into his game, leading the Grizzlies to victories. And speaking of leading, Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to be crucial. He's not just an elite defender, he's a game changer. Last season, he proved his worth by stepping up when it mattered most. With him on the floor, the Grizzlies' defense becomes a brick wall. I can't wait to see how he pairs with Ja this season. Their chemistry is something to watch. Jaren's ability to protect the rim allows Ja to play with freedom on offense. The combination is electrifying. Now, let's not forget about Desmond Bane. He averaged over 20 points a game last season and can light it up from beyond the arc. Bane's shooting is going to stretch defenses and create lanes for Ja to attack. If he stays healthy, I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes a key contributor, giving the Grizzlies another reliable scoring option. Imagine defenses having to choose between containing Ja, Bane, and Jaren. It's a nightmare scenario for opponents. Then there's Marcus Smart. This guy was the Defensive Player of the Year just 2 seasons ago, and now he's itching to prove himself in Memphis. He brings a veteran presence and defensive grit that can elevate the team's overall intensity. If he can stay healthy, Smart's going to add a toughness to the Grizzlies that they might have missed last season. His leadership will be invaluable, especially during those tight playoff moments. And let's talk about depth. The Grizzlies have some real talent on the bench. Brandon Clark is a terrific rebounder, and he's been working hard to come back from injury. When he's on the floor, he adds a spark off the bench that can change the game's momentum. And how about GG Jackson? He might be sidelined for now, but once he's back, he's going to add another layer to this roster. Plus, rookie Zach Edey is an exciting addition. If he learns the ropes quickly, he could fill that role left by Steven Adams and bring a big presence in the paint. Now here's where it gets interesting. Other teams have emerged during the Grizzlies' absence from the spotlight. Teams like Oklahoma City, Dallas, and Minnesota have made significant strides. But that doesn't mean Memphis is out of the race. The Grizzlies are ready to remind everyone of their past success. Remember that thrilling trip to the Western Conference semifinals just 2 seasons ago? They racked up 107 wins over 2 seasons. That's a statement. They want to prove that last season was just a pause, not a full stop. In a Western Conference that's as competitive as ever, the Grizzlies have a unique opportunity to reinsert themselves into the conversation. With the right mix of talent, determination, and health, they can make some serious noise. This season could be the year they reclaim their place among the league's elite. I mean, who wouldn't be excited to see them back at their best? So, as the season approaches, keep your eyes on Memphis. With Ja Morant leading the charge, supported by Jaren Jackson Jr., Desmond Bane, and the addition of Zach Edey, they've got what it takes to be great again. The energy is building, and I can't wait to see what this team brings to the court. Let's just say the stage is set for a comeback. But I think we tend to forget how good Ja Morant has been throughout his career. This started in his rookie season. Ja Morant is a name that every basketball fan knows, and for good reason. Drafted 2nd overall by the Memphis Grizzlies in the 2019 NBA Draft, he's been making waves since day one. On July 2nd of that same year, he signed a 4-year contract worth $39.6 million, and the Grizzlies knew they were getting a star. Now let's take a trip back to October 23rd, 2019, when Morant made his NBA debut. He stepped onto the court against the Miami Heat, and while the game ended in a 101-120 loss, he put up a solid 14 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, and a block. Right out of the gate, he showed everyone he was ready for the big leagues. Fast forward to November 13th, and Morant was already making headlines again. He recorded his first career double-double with 23 points and 11 assists in a thrilling game against the Charlotte Hornets. The highlight? He hit a game-winning layup to seal the deal in a 117-115 victory. Can you believe that? This kid was just getting started. But wait, there's more. On February 9th, 2020, Morant achieved another milestone. His first career triple-double. He dropped 22 points, grabbed 10 rebounds, and dished out 11 assists in a 106-99 win over the Washington Wizards. It was like a coming-out party for him. He wasn't just a rookie. He was already establishing himself as a force to be reckoned with. During the 2019-20 season, Morant didn't just excel, he dominated. He led all rookies in assists, averaging an impressive 7.1 assists per game. Not to mention, he scored a total of of 1,138 points, averaging 17.8 points per game. That's insane. His ability to create plays and score made him a nightmare for opposing defenses. At the end of the season, his hard work paid off. Morant was named the NBA Rookie of the Year. He also earned a spot on the NBA All-Rookie First Team, proving he was one of the best newcomers in the league. It's not just about the numbers. It's about how he carried himself on the court. He brought an energy and passion that was infectious, and it only picked up even further his second season. On December 23rd, 2020, Morant exploded onto the scene with a career-high 44 points against the San Antonio Spurs. It was a wild game, even though the Memphis Grizzlies ended up on the losing side with the score of 131-119. Morant didn't just put points on the board, he also dished out 9 assists, snagged 2 rebounds, and grabbed 2 steals. Talk about making an impact. By the way, if you guys enjoy these kinds of NBA deep dives, I'll be content every day during the season, fast, as things happen. I genuinely appreciate if you can subscribe. Thanks. But anyways, Morant. Fast forward to May 21st, 2021, and Morant's got the spotlight on him again. This time, it's the newly introduced play-in tournament, and the stakes are sky high. The Grizzlies are fighting for that final playoff spot, and they're up against the Golden State Warriors. Morant is ready to shine. He scores 35 points, adds 6 rebounds, and 6 assists, leading Memphis to a thrilling 117-112 overtime victory. Can you imagine the tension? They hadn't made the playoffs in 4 seasons, and now they're back in the mix thanks to Morant's clutch performance. Just 2 days later, Morant makes his playoff debut, and boy, does he make it memorable. He scores 26 points, contributes 4 rebounds, and 4 assists, helping the Grizzlies upset the top-seeded Utah Jazz with a score of 112-109. It's an incredible moment, showcasing his talent and poise under pressure. Morant's ability to rise to the occasion is nothing short of electrifying. In Game 2 of the series, Morant really turns it up. He goes off for 47 points and adds 7 assists. Can you believe it? But despite his insane performance, the Grizzlies fall short against the Jazz, losing 141-129. The effort is there, but Memphis ends up getting eliminated, losing the series in 5 games. It's a tough way to go out, especially after such a promising start, but Morant's star is shining brighter than ever, and fans can't help but feel excited about what's to come. Morant's journey is a roller coaster of emotions. He shows the world that he's not just a player, he's a competitor who thrives in the big moments. With every game, he proves he's got what it takes to lead this team. The way he handles pressure is inspiring, and it's clear he's going to be a force in the NBA for years to come. Looking back at that game against the Spurs, it's amazing to see how Morant stepped up. Scoring 44 points is no easy feat, especially against a team like San Antonio. He was in a zone, sinking shot after shot, making defenders look silly. It's performances like that that make basketball so exciting. And even though they lost, Morant's display of skill and determination left fans buzzing with excitement. And then came that play-in game against the Warriors. Talk about pressure. Morant knew what was on the line, and he rose to the occasion like a true superstar, scoring 35 points and leading his team to an overtime victory. That's what legends are made of. You could feel the energy in the arena. It was electric. The Grizzlies were back in the playoff picture, and Morant was the driving force behind it all. His playoff debut was another thrilling moment. Facing off against the Utah Jazz, Morant's confidence was palpable. Scoring 26 points in his first playoff game is no small feat. The Grizzlies' win against the Jazz sent a clear message. They were here to compete. Morant's ability to deliver in high-pressure situations was something every fan admired. Even though the Grizzlies were eliminated in the first round, Morant's playoff run was a glimpse of his potential. With 47 points in Game 2, he showed that he could go toe-to-toe with some of the best players in the league. His relentless drive and skill were on full display, making it clear that he's going was to be a player to watch in the future. And he only made all the more obvious his third season. Morant's 2022 season was absolutely electric. The guy was on fire from the very first game. Right off the bat, in the Memphis Grizzlies season opener on October 20th, he dropped 37 points and dished out 6 assists to lead them to a 132-121 victory over the Cleveland Cavaliers. And that was just the beginning. 4 days later, on October 24th, Morant absolutely lit it up again, scoring 40 points and handing out 10 assists, even though the Grizzlies lost a close one, 121-118 against the Los Angeles Lakers. This guy was clearly setting the tone for what would be an unforgettable season. He kept grinding, and on December 29th, he took it to another level, scoring a season-high 41 points, including hitting a career-best 6 3-pointers as the Grizzlies beat the Lakers 104-99. Talk about clutch. Morant wasn't done with his 40-plus point games, though. On January 26th, he tied that season-high 41 points while adding 8 assists, 5 rebounds, and 2 steals to lead the Grizzlies to a 118-110 win against the San Antonio Spurs. The very next day, on January 27th, he earned his first ever NBA All-Star Game selection. And not just as a bench player, he was picked as a starter for the Western Conference. That recognition really solidified Morant as a rising star, but he didn't slow down. The day after being named an All-Star, on January 28th, Ja dropped a triple-double, 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists, leading the Grizzlies to a 119-109 win over the Utah Jazz. This was the 4th triple-double of his career, and he made it look so effortless. Fast forward to February 16th, and Morant was once again making headlines, tying his career high with 44 points against the Portland Trail Blazers. He was on fire, scoring 20 of those points just in the first quarter. He also grabbed 5 rebounds and delivered 11 assists in that game, though the Grizzlies ultimately lost 123-119. Still, Morant showed he could dominate games in multiple ways. Just when you thought Morant couldn't top himself, he did. On February 26th, he set a new career high with 46 points in a 116-110 win over the Chicago Bulls. He didn't just break his own record, he also broke the Grizzlies' franchise record for most points in a game, a record that had been held by Mike Miller since 2007. Then, just 2 days later, on February 28, Morant completely outdid himself by scoring a new career high 52 points on a ridiculous 22 of 30 shooting, including a perfect 4 for 4 from beyond the arc, leading Memphis to a 118-105 win over the San Antonio Spurs. 52 points? That's just insane. But Morant's season wasn't all smooth sailing. On March 18th, he tweaked his right knee in a game against the Atlanta Hawks and ended up missing 9 games. Despite that setback, the Grizzlies didn't lose steam. Morant returned to help them secure their first ever Southwest Division title, and Memphis tied their franchise record with 56 wins. And get this, Morant still managed to win the NBA Most Improved Player award despite missing 25 games during the regular season. That's how much of an impact he made when he was on the court. Now, let's talk playoffs, because Morant's magic carried over into the postseason. During Game 3 of the first round of the playoffs, he posted the first triple-double in Grizzlies franchise history with 16 points, 10 assists, and 10 rebounds in a 104-95 win over the Minnesota Timberwolves. The guy was making history in the postseason too. Then, in Game 5, Morant had another jaw-dropping performance. With just 1 second left on the clock, he hit the game-winning layup, finishing the game with 30 points, 13 rebounds, and 9 assists in a 111-109 win. 18 of those 30 points came in the fourth quarter. The dude is just clutch. Things got even crazier on May 3rd during Game 2 of the second round of the playoffs against the Golden State Warriors. Morant exploded for a playoff career high 47 points, along with 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and 3 steals in a 106-101 victory. He single-handedly kept the Grizzlies in the game, scoring the last 15 points for Memphis. What's even wilder is that, with this performance, Morant became just the 3rd player in NBA playoff history to have multiple 45-point games before turning 23 years old, joining legends like Kobe Bryant and LeBron James. Let that sink in for a moment. Unfortunately, Morant's playoff run came to an abrupt end on May 7th when he injured his right knee in Game 3 against the Warriors. Memphis would go on to lose the series in 6 games, but Morant's impact was undeniable. In the 3 games he played in that series, he averaged an eye-popping 38.3 points per game, shooting over 50% from the field and 43% from 3. But that was just proving he was a superstar in this league, because in his 4th season, he dominated once again. On July 6, 2022, Ja Morant made waves by signing a massive 5-year extension with the Memphis Grizzlies. This deal included a whopping $193 million in guaranteed money. And guess what? If he made it onto an All-NBA team, that amount could jump up to $231 million. Talk about a deal that's hard to pass up. The excitement continued when the season kicked off. On October 21st, in the second game of the season, Morant lit up the scoreboard with 49 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 blocks. He shot an impressive 17 of 26 from the field in a thrilling 129-122 win over the Houston Rockets. That performance set a new franchise record for the Grizzlies, as he scored a total of 83 points in just the first 2 games of the season. Wow. And Morant wasn't done yet. On November 27, he delivered his 5th career triple-double, finishing with 27 points, 10 rebounds, and 14 assists in a nail-biting 127-123 victory against the New York Knicks. This feat tied him with Marc Gasol for the most triple-doubles in Grizzlies history. But hold on, it gets better. Just 10 days later, on December 7th, Morant achieved his 6th career triple-double with 26 points, 13 rebounds, and 11 assists in a decisive 123-102 win over the Oklahoma City Thunder. With that performance, he officially surpassed Marc Gasol to take sole possession of the most triple-doubles in Grizzlies history. Talk about making history. As the season rolled on, Morant continued to show why he's a star. On January 29, 2023, he recorded his 7th career triple-double with 27 points, 10 rebounds, and 15 assists in a solid 112-100 win against the Indiana Pacers. Not only that, but he became the first player in Grizzlies history to score at least 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 15 assists in a single game. That's some serious talent right there. On February 2nd, Morant earned his 2nd NBA All-Star Game selection as a reserve guard for the Western Conference. What an achievement for such a young player. And on February 28th, he dazzled everyone again with an outstanding performance against the Los Angeles Lakers. He scored 39 points, with 28 of those coming in the 3rd quarter. He also racked up 10 assists and 10 rebounds to achieve his 10th career triple-double in a 121-109 win. Can you believe he made 10 of 12 shots in that explosive quarter? That's the highest scoring quarter ever by a Grizzlies player. Then came the playoffs. In Game 3 of the Grizzlies' first-round series against the Los Angeles Lakers, Morant put on an absolute show, scoring 45 points. 22 of those points came in the 4th quarter, alongside 13 assists and 9 rebounds in a hard-fought 111-101 loss. Those 22 points are the most scored in a single quarter in playoff history for the Grizzlies. Even though Memphis ended up losing the series in 6 games, Morant's electrifying performances throughout the season made it clear that he's a player to watch. But most recently, last season, it was a really confusing one for Morant, and it's really the reason a lot of people forgot about him. On March 4th, 2023, the NBA dropped a bombshell. They launched an investigation into Ja Morant after a wild Instagram live video surfaced. In the video, Morant was seen flashing a gun at a Colorado nightclub, and this all happened just hours after the Grizzlies' tough loss to the eventual NBA champions, the Denver Nuggets. It was a shocking moment, and fans were left shaking their heads. Later that day, the Grizzlies announced that Morant would be away from the team for at least 2 games, but that was just the beginning of a roller coaster ride for Morant and the Grizzlies. In a heartfelt statement, Morant revealed he'd be taking an indefinite amount of time away from the team. He expressed the need to find better resources to manage his stress, anxiety, and overall well-being. And in a big move, he also deactivated his Instagram and Twitter accounts. The pressure was on him, and he was taking a step back to focus on himself. Even Nike, his shoe sponsor, released a statement supporting his decision, saying, "We appreciate Ja's accountability and that he is taking the time to get the help he needs. We support his prioritization of his well-being." It was clear that Morant needed to address some serious issues. On March 5th, Grizzlies head coach Taylor Jenkins confirmed that there was no set timeline for Morant's return to the team. The uncertainty was palpable. Just 3 days later, on March 8th, the Grizzlies announced Morant would miss at least the next 4 games. Fans were eager to see him back, but it was clear he had to get his life in order first. Fast forward to March 15th, when Morant met with NBA Commissioner Adam Silver in New York after completing his counseling program. This meeting had major implications. Multiple top NBA executives were there too, and it felt like a pivotal moment for Morant's career. That same day, the NBA announced they'd be suspending him for 8 games without pay for the nightclub incident. Thankfully, the suspension covered the 6 games Morant had already missed, meaning he'd be eligible to return to play as soon as March 20th. Fans were buzzing with anticipation. However, the ups and downs didn't stop there. On May 14th, just 2 months after his first suspension, Morant found himself in hot water again. He was suspended from all team activities for flashing a gun during another Instagram live session, this time on his friend Devontae Pack's account. Seriously, what was he thinking? Adam Silver publicly expressed his shock over the incident, emphasizing that the league and the team would need to assess further disciplinary actions. Fans were left feeling frustrated and concerned about Morant's choices. Then came June 16th, when the league announced a 25-game suspension for Morant, provided he completed a league-sponsored program that addressed his wrongdoings. It felt like a harsh but necessary wake-up call. Morant had an incredible opportunity to learn from these mistakes and come back stronger. As the 2023 to 2024 season approached, fans were eager to see how Morant would handle his return. On December 19th, 2023, he finally returned from suspension. And boy, did he make an impact. He scored 27 of his 34 points in the second half of the game against the New Orleans Pelicans. That's right, he also hit the game-winning shot in a thrilling 115-113 victory. Fans erupted with joy, but just when it looked like Morant was getting back on track, trouble struck again. On January 8, 2024, reports surfaced that he would undergo a season-ending right shoulder surgery after suffering a subluxation during a team practice. Fans couldn't believe it. Just as he was finding his rhythm, another setback hit. It was like a roller coaster of emotions for Morant and the Grizzlies, with exhilarating highs and devastating lows. This season was a real test of character for Morant. He faced challenges that many players would never experience. I think it's essential to recognize that the pressure on young stars is immense, especially with the spotlight shining so brightly on them. Morant showed some incredible talent on the court, but the off-court distractions had a significant impact on his journey. One minute, he was dazzling fans with his electrifying plays and jaw-dropping performances. The next minute, he found himself in the midst of serious controversies that questioned his maturity and decision-making. It's a tough balancing act. He needed to focus on his game while navigating the ups and downs of life. Watching Morant's journey has been a roller coaster, and it's hard not to root for him. He's undeniably gifted, and when he's on the court, he's a force to be reckoned with. But he also has to learn to handle the pressure and make better choices off the court. It's a learning experience, and it's crucial that he takes these lessons to heart. Fans are hopeful for his future. They want to see him flourish, both on and off the court. Ja has the talent to be a superstar in the league, and with the right mindset, he can rise above the challenges he's faced. It'll be exciting to see how he bounces back after everything he's been through. Ultimately, Morant's up and down season is a reminder that the road to success isn't always smooth. It's filled with obstacles, setbacks, and moments of growth. For fans and players alike, it's a journey that requires resilience, determination, and a willingness to learn from mistakes. Here's to hoping Morant takes this experience and comes back stronger than ever. The sky's the limit for him if he can channel his incredible talent in the right direction. But I want to fully explain why I think this could be the season Morant fully breaks to MVP contention. First up, Marcus Smart. Smart's health is going to be a game changer for Ja Morant this season. Can you imagine how much more dangerous they'll be with Smart on the court? First off, Marcus Smart brings a ton of defensive prowess to the Grizzlies. He's a former Defensive Player of the Year, and that's not just a title. His ability to lock down opponents will take pressure off Morant. Imagine Morant getting to focus on his scoring and playmaking without worrying about carrying the defensive load. Smart can guard the opposing team's best perimeter players, allowing Morant to save his energy for those high-flying dunks and dazzling assists. Speaking of assists, Smart is an excellent facilitator. He's not just a guard who can score, he knows how to get his teammates involved. With Smart running the offense alongside Morant, they can create some serious mismatches. Smart's vision on the court means Morant can cut to the basket or pop open for a three-pointer. Together, they'll be able to find the perfect rhythm, making the offense even more dynamic and unpredictable. Now let's talk about experience. Smart's been in the league for a while, and he knows what it takes to win. He's played in big playoff games and knows how to handle pressure situations. This is crucial for Morant, who's still growing into that leadership role. Having a seasoned vet like Smart around will help guide Morant through tough stretches. It's like having an extra coach on the floor. Not only does Smart bring skill and experience, but he also brings that tenacious attitude. His hustle and grit are infectious. This kind of energy can elevate the whole team. Ja feeds off that intensity, and when they're both on the court, they'll push each other to new heights. Just imagine a full court press with Smart leading the charge and Morant swooping in for steals. It'll be an electrifying sight. Another big aspect is ball security. Morant has shown flashes of brilliance, but he can get a bit careless with the ball at times. Smart's presence will help stabilize that. He's a smart decision maker and knows how to take care of the rock. With Smart on the floor, Morant can focus on being the explosive scorer he is, while Smart manages the pace and flow of the game. That'll lead to better shot selection and fewer turnovers. And let's not forget about about the chemistry they can build. They're both passionate players who want to win. If they can develop a solid connection, they'll create a seamless partnership on the court. They'll know each other's moves, anticipate passes, and work together like a well-oiled machine. This chemistry could be the secret ingredient for success this season. With Marcus Smart healthy, the sky's the limit. They'll form a formidable duo that can not only compete, but dominate. I'm so excited to see how they'll elevate each other's game and take the Grizzlies to new heights. Get ready for an electrifying season ahead. But besides Smart, the second reason, Zach Edey. Ja Morant is one of the most electrifying players in the NBA. His explosiveness, creativity, and ability to finish at the rim make him a nightmare for defenses. But what makes things even more exciting for Morant this season is the addition of Zach Edey, the towering center that the Grizzlies drafted 9th overall. Standing at 7'4", Edey brings a unique presence that can take Morant's game to the next level. First, let's talk about Edey's size. At 7'4", he's a dominant force in the paint. His sheer height and wingspan give him a massive advantage on both ends of the floor. And that's huge for Morant. Having Edey as a reliable big target down low opens up so many options for Morant. When Morant drives to the basket, defenders will have to think twice before collapsing on him, knowing that Edey is waiting for an easy lob or pass for a dunk. It's almost unfair. Edey's ability to seal off defenders in the paint gives Morant that extra space to operate, which is all he needs to make magic happen. Now let's talk defense. Morant is lightning quick and plays a fast-paced game, but he's not known for his defense. This is where Edey steps in as a game changer. With Edey protecting the rim, Morant can play more aggressively on the perimeter, knowing that there's a massive shot-blocking presence behind him. Imagine Morant picking pockets and racing down the floor for fast breaks, all because Edey's in the paint, ready to swat away any attempts from opponents. That defensive security will allow Morant to gamble a bit more on steals, without worrying as much about getting burned. Edey's presence gives the Grizzlies a strong defensive backbone, and that's going to make life so much easier for Morant. And don't forget about rebounding. Edey's size and reach will dominate the boards, allowing Morant to run in transition more often. With Edey gobbling up defensive rebounds, Morant can get out on the break and do what he does best, push the pace and create highlight reel plays. Edey's rebounding will also give the Grizzlies extra possessions, whether it's on offense or defense. More possessions mean more opportunities for Morant to break down defenses and rack up assists or score at the rim. Edey's presence also adds another element to Memphis' pick and roll game. Ja is already elite in pick and roll situations, and now he's got a massive target in Edey to set screens and roll to the rim. Edey's screens are going to be brutal for defenders to get through, and when he rolls, Morant will have the option to either take the shot, dish it for an easy dunk, or kick it out to shooters. It's pick your poison for the defense. The Grizzlies' offense is going to be so much more dynamic with Edey in the fold. His ability to stretch the defense by drawing attention to the paint will open up the floor for Morant to thrive. Whether it's lobs, pick and rolls, or simply using Edey as a decoy, Morant's options on the offensive end just got way more dangerous. And defensively, Edey's presence makes everything easier for the team as a whole, especially Morant. With Zach Edey, Ja Morant's already stellar game is set to reach new heights this season. Overall though, with Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Desmond Bane all healthy, Morant is primed for a potential MVP season. Think about it, having two young stars like Jackson Jr. and Bane by his side only makes Morant's game more lethal. Jackson Jr. is a defensive beast and can stretch the floor with his shooting, while Bane's ability to knock down threes consistently spreads out the defense. This opens up the floor for Ja Morant to do what he does best, attack the rim and make plays. Morant thrives in transition, and with Jackson Jr. protecting the paint and Bane lighting it up from deep, the Grizzlies' fast-paced offense is going to be a nightmare for teams to handle. The chemistry between these three is undeniable, and if they stay healthy, Morant is in the perfect position to lead Memphis to a deep playoff run and put himself squarely in the MVP conversation. His leadership, paired with their all-around talent, could easily elevate him to that elite status. This season is shaping up to be special for Ja, and I can't wait to see what he does with a fully healthy squad. If you enjoyed this, I'll be posting NBA content every day during the season, fast as things happen. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching,